The tattoo craze that swept Australia has created a lucrative new industry, with tattoo parlours multiplying all over the country. It's also been a bonanza for organised crime. It's heavily infiltrated the tattoo trade. A 7:30 investigation has found that outlaw motorcycle gangs have a stranglehold over the tattoo business. Arson, extortion, money laundering, standover and drive-by shootings are commonplace, and legitimate businesses are too scared to speak out for fear of retribution. Now, police are launching a crackdown with new laws designed to force outlaw bikie gangs out of the business, but the motorcycle clubs and their lawyers are fighting back. Alex Mann and Leslie Robinson have this report.
Completely booked to full capacity.
Weather makes a difference,
busy on Saturday.
Hey guys.
Busy on Sunday.
How are you? Come in. Welcome.
Out on Sunday.
Business is booming at Bondi Inc.
We run it now like a hair and beauty salon.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
I think to run a successful business, you've got to think outside the box and not run a tattoo shop like a tattoo shop. Yep.
Husband and wife team Wendy and John Tadros are busy rebranding the art.
And it's cash only, darling, so if you can just leave.
And mining tattooing's newfound universal appeal.
Thinking about maybe getting a little tattoo to show the family we've come into the new generation. Fabulous.
Usually Monday, Tuesdays are our mums and prams day.
People look at it as your body's a canvas now. On my legs, see little cartoon characters with their names.
But alongside the glitz and glamour is an industry under the shadow of organised crime.
It's like we've been tarred with the same brush. You know, if there's a shooting somewhere, it's like, oh, you know, bikies, tattoos.
Police are investigating a fatal shooting at a tattoo parlour.
There are fears the firebombing of a tattoo parlour in Sydney's east could reignite the city's bikie wars.
The tattoo shop is linked to an outlaw motorcycle gang, and that is one of a number of inquiries we will be making.
Murder, to armed robbery, to arson, malicious damage, firearms offences. Tattoo parlours are synonymous with outlaw motorcycle gangs.
Across Australia, outlaw motorcycle gangs are entrenched in the tattoo industry. Police conservatively estimate 1 in 4 tattoo parlours are bikie affiliated. In New South Wales alone, police have recorded 189 crimes at tattoo parlours over the last 5 years.
We know that with outlaw motorcycle gangs, predominantly the way they make their income is through the manufacturing and distribution of illegal drugs. And by having the tattoo parlours opening, they can put some of the income derived from those illegal practices and declare it as income through the tattoo parlour, which then legitimises that particular income.
Hello, Illustrated Man.
You know, there's always been tattoo wars for years and years and years, and now it's escalating.
Tony Cohen is a legend of Sydney's tattoo scene. With 40 years in the industry, he's seen it all.
Oh, beating each other up and annoying people and trying to get people out of business because they opened up next door or things like that.
Tony Cohen's learnt that if you want to stay in the game, you keep your head down.
I don't associate with other tattoo shops. This is a family business. We keep to ourselves. It's a tough industry, and it always has been.
A burnt-out police van torched last night in front of an inner-city tattoo parlour controlled by an outlaw motorcycle gang.
This attack took place just a few kilometres from Tony Cohen's studio. The former head of the Nomads Bikie Club went to jail for setting fire to a police van outside a tattoo parlour he owned.
Sydney's in the midst of a serious bikie gang war.
Just months later, security cameras capture another attack inside the same parlour. The intruder smashes the front window, quickly spreads fuel around the room and sets the place on fire. Within a minute, the parlour is engulfed in flames. Inevitably, police investigating crimes like this come up against a wall of silence.
The victims do not want to make any formal statements to police for fear of retribution by these outlaw motorcycle gangs or organised criminal networks.
Queensland's Gold Coast is facing the same problem.
Police are investigating whether arson attacks on 2 separate Gold Coast tattoo parlours are linked to members of outlaw motorcycle clubs.
In southeast Queensland, with shots fired into a Gold Coast tattoo parlour overnight.
Fortunately, they've got the message and have moved to other areas.
Gold Coast MP Ray Stevens is pushing for a crackdown on bikie crime. He says tattoo parlours are just a front for money laundering.
It is a great opportunity for them to clean some of their money and turn dirty money through private companies, pay the tax, and then it becomes clean, and then they can invest that in legitimate businesses.
Ray Stevens says the bikies in his electorate have created a culture of fear.
I did have a solicitor ring me, acting for his client who wanted to open up a tattoo shop, and he was visited by some bikie fellows, scary bikie fellows, who told him he would have to pay a certain amount of money to open up the shop, and if he didn't pay, the shop might catch fire. Now, I reported that to the police. The police investigated. They said we need names, and the client of the solicitor was not prepared to give his name and put his family in danger.
Law enforcers around the country are watching closely what's happening in New South Wales.
Well, what we're trying to push out of industry is anyone that may have a criminal record, may be associated with outlaw motorcycle gangs.
From October 1, all tattoo parlours will have to be licensed, and police will have sweeping new powers to raid tattoo parlours and search for firearms, drugs and explosives. The new laws require everyone in this industry to provide detailed information about their personal associations and criminal history.
We'll know who's operating the business. We will know who are the tattoos working in the business. We will have access to their books and records. We will have powers to go into the particular tattoo parlours and look at those business books and records.
But the bikies are fighting back. They insist they're being targeted unfairly. They claim club membership doesn't equate to criminality.
We purposely ask the boys, even when they come down to get tattooed, that they wear normal clothing.
I've taken my colours off and come to the shop in my colours. It's a sign of respect, you know what I mean?
Frank Perham is a long-time and proud member of the Finks, one of the most notorious outlaw motorcycle clubs.
I've made no secret that I'm a member of... In fact, when I spoke to the Department of Fair Trading last week, I brought it up with them that I'm a member of the club.
Frank Perham owns 2 tattoo studios on Sydney's northern beaches. He's also been recognised for his charity work and his support for surf lifesaving clubs.
And that culminated in the Order of Australia in 2004, which was very humbling. Very humbling.
Finks Sergeant-at-Arms Alex Martinez also works in Frank Perham's business. So do you think if you have to close down, anyone's going to care?
No. No,
well,
not at all.
I care. All right, I want to have an income, right? So where do I live? Go to Dole? The Dole? That's what they want us to do, go to the Dole.
Frank Perham applied for his licence more than 6 months ago. He's still waiting. Why do you think it's taken so long?
I can't answer that. I can guess, but I can't answer that, and I don't want to guess.
Another senior Finks office holder who goes by the name Ferret runs Blacktown Tattoo. Given your associations and your criminal history, do you think you're the kind of person that the government is trying to push out of the tattoo industry?
I think the government's just trying to push anyone out of the tattoo industry that they don't deem a fit and proper person.
And do you fall into that category?
Under the government regulations, I fall in that category. For being a member of a motorcycle club, I'll fall under that category. Whether I had a criminal conviction or not, I'd still fall under that category.
The crackdown comes as the number of outlaw bikies across Australia is growing, and that's got police worried.
In New South Wales alone, that we have 2,000, just over 2,000 members, prospects and nominees of outlaw motorcycle gangs. Both nationally and internationally, we know that recruitment and expansion is growing at quite a large rate.
The bikies have already used the courts to overturn anti-association legislation in New South Wales and South Australia, and they're engaged in a similar battle in Queensland. Now they've vowed to take on the Tattoo Parlours Act in New South Wales.
If the reason a person has been refused a licence is solely because they're a member of a club or they have an association with somebody who's a member of a club, then I expect we'll be taking that to the Supreme Court.
What, if you're a bikie, you can't have a business, you can't work? What's that going to create? It's going to create chaos.
Things will be driven underground. You're going to get people tattooing from home with no licences, people, there's going to be no quality control, using cheap machines, bad inks.
Back at Bondi Inc., this power couple is determined to stay in business and to mind their own.
There's no dramas between me and the bikies. They're, good, some of my good friends are in bike clubs, but that shouldn't discriminate against me on, Yeah. But, I think everybody knows a bikie.
But for some tattoo artists, the new laws are already starting to bite. So, are you going through the process of applying for a licence?
No, I'm going to leave the industry.
Do you think there'll be any sympathy for people in your situation, given the reputation that the Finks have and given the criminal history that you and other members of the Finks have?
We're not asking for any sympathy. All we're asking for is to leave us alone and let us get on with our work that we pay taxes for.
Alex Mann with that story produced by Leslie Robinson.